A tense confrontation erupted during a congressional hearing as Representative Dan Goldman challenged FBI Director Kash Patel over the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Goldman repeatedly pressed Patel on whether the FBI was withholding key evidence related to Epstein's associates, while Patel defended the Bureau's handling of the investigation, citing legal restrictions and the need to protect victims. The exchange quickly escalated into accusations of secrecy, cover-ups, and disputes over what information the FBI can legally disclose.
That prohibit you from releasing grand jury testimony under Rule 6E. Is that what you're referring to when you say as the law allows?
That's a piece of it.
Really? What other evidence do those three court orders you cited prohibit from being released?
Information that was collected pursuant to those search warrants that were limited
Wrong.
in fashion.
Wrong. That's not what the court order says, and that's not under 6E.
And you're talking, and I said that's 6E, and I said there was others, and I'm answering that there are sealed court order documents. There are protective orders.
They are unsealed as part of discovery given to Ghislaine Maxwell. They are no longer sealed.
That's just not true. We can argue about it all you want.
Okay, well, you agree that there are, so your testimony here is that the reason why you are not releasing all of the videos that you have acknowledged, there are so many, and that the FBI spent thousands of hours of reviewing, the photographs, the photographs that you have. You're saying that you're not releasing those because there's a court order requiring them to be sealed? Is that your testimony?
Never said that about the videos. On the totality of the videos, of the thousands of images that were seized pursuant to the search warrants executed at the time, the overwhelming majority of that video is pornographic material that was downloaded from the internet and child sexual abuse material. We will never release that.
Well, as you should not release the victims, but if there are videos that relate to others who Epstein trafficked to, such as maybe Prince Andrew, or photographs, that you have total control to release.
Yes, and if it exists.
And so why haven't you released it?
Why are you supposing that that is a fact when in fact it is false? Are you saying that
you're saying that none of the videos relate to anything relevant to the Jeffrey Epstein trafficking ring?
Every single video that we have collected pursuant to the prior search warrants has been examined for the last 10 years. And every single video has been utilized for whatever prosecutions were able to be legally brought.
I'm not asking about prosecutions. I'm asking about why you aren't releasing the full Epstein files, including the names of people who were involved in the sex ring that you promised to do before you became FBI director.
I just told you, I'm not going to release downloaded porn of
I'm
children
not asking
on the
about
internet.
that. Fine. I'm asking about all the other files.
What other videos? Tell me. Tell me.
That's what I'm asking.
Tell me.
You're saying there are no videos that would be relevant to anyone else involved in the Jeffrey Epstein sex ring.
Pursuant to Mr. Acosta's collection of information based on the search warrants. That's all we have in our possession.
And I'm asking you, that stuff.
That's all we got.
I'm not asking all you got. I'm asking you, in that stuff, there's nothing that's related to any other sex traffic, any other people engaged with Epstein in underage sex.
That's correct. To my knowledge, no.
Okay. Let's talk about the witness interviews. 302s of witness interviews. Those are not subject to the court order. Those are not subject to any fictional sealed order for a search warrant. Why aren't you releasing those with the redacted names of the victims?
We are releasing as much as legally allowed. That's why we went back to the courts.
How is that not legally allowed?
Sir, do you know how court orders work? Do you know how protective orders
Actually,
work? Do you know how
Mr. Patel, I was a real prosecutor for 10 years. I know exactly how.
So I was a fake one?
And I want to understand what the court order prevents you from releasing witness statements that the FBI took.
You should know that as a real prosecutor, when the court hand downs a protective order and a motion to seal, the material is sealed unless that
your
judge
testimony
waives
here
it.
is that all of those witness statements are under a court order, a protective order.
We are providing everything we can legally provide.
No, that's not my question. My question is, why are those witness statements that are not grand jury testimony, that if they were under a protective order are no longer under a protective order, Why are they not being released?
How are they not under protective
Why
order?
are you not going to the court like you did for the grand jury testimony to unseal those records?
The DOJ did go to the court.
No, not on those records. Why aren't you going? You just went on grand jury.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
You are hiding the Epstein files, Mr. Patel.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
You are part of the cover-up.
Can I respond?
Sure can.
Any allegations that I'm a part of a cover-up to protect child sexual trafficking and victims of human trafficking and sexual crimes is patently and categorically false in the work of my
So I hope you will talk to them when they have requested to speak with you. Because the victims have requested and you are not responding to them.
Director, yes or no? Is the
Representative Goldman opened by asking whether President Donald Trump's name appears anywhere in the Epstein files. Patel responded that all legally releasable information involving President Trump and others had already been made public. Goldman then questioned Patel's repeated claim that court orders prevented the release of additional records. He argued that grand jury secrecy rules under Rule 6E were being misapplied and insisted that many of the materials, including witness interviews and evidence obtained through search warrants, were no longer subject to sealing orders. Patel countered that multiple legal restrictions, including protective orders and sealed court records, still limited what the FBI could disclose. The discussion shifted to the large volume of videos and photographs collected during the Epstein investigation. Goldman asked why the FBI had not released additional materials that might identify other individuals connected to Epstein's trafficking operation. Patel explained that the overwhelming majority of the seized material consisted of internet-downloaded pornography and child sexual abuse material, emphasizing that such content would never be released. Goldman clarified that he was not asking for explicit or victim-related material, but rather for evidence that could identify other individuals allegedly involved with Epstein. Patel maintained that to his knowledge, the evidence in the FBI's possession had already been fully examined over the past decade and used in every prosecution that could legally be brought. He stated that he was unaware of any unreleased videos showing additional individuals engaged in criminal conduct with Epstein. The hearing then turned to FBI witness interview reports, commonly known as FD 302s. Goldman argued that these interview records were not protected by the same legal restrictions as grand jury testimony and could be released with victims' identities redacted. The hearing ended without resolving the dispute over the Epstein files. Representative Goldman continued to argue that the FBI possesses additional records that should be made public, while Director Kash Patel maintained that the Bureau has released everything the law allows and that remaining materials are restricted by legal protections or contain sensitive evidence that cannot be disclosed or contain sensitive evidence that cannot be disclosed. The exchange highlighted the continuing political and legal controversy surrounding the Epstein investigation, government transparency, and the balance between public disclosure and protecting victims.